Assalamu alaikum, brother Hashim. May I know,
Walaikum salam.
may I know what is your views of Allah's previous book, like the Torah and the Gospel?
Oh, we proudly believe in all of them.
What do you believe about them? Are they true or not?
Well, we believe that there was a time when they were true, but then they were changed over time.
Okay, would you tell me who changed them?
Well, maybe the Jews, their rabbis, and also some Christian pastors, they changed them.
My question is then, when they were changing the Torah and the Gospel, did any Jews or the Christians complain about it? Because many of them had access to those scriptures.
Actually, in the Quran, in the Surah Al-Hijr, verse 9, Allah said, "Verily, it is we who sent down the zikr or the Quran, and surely we will guard it from corruption." This is the Muslim conversion.
Oh, thank you very much for this verse. I like it. But I have two questions. Firstly, indeed, Allah said He will protect His words, but I cannot find anywhere in that particular verse the word Quran or Furqan. Secondly, I cannot find any verse where Allah explicitly said, I will not protect the previous scriptures, or I am not interested to protect them.
Okay, let me answer you. You see, when one prophet leaves, his words and his shariat are also cancelled. And then a new prophet will arise and will bring a new law. So, for example, when Musa died or Moses died, someone else brought new laws and it continues on like this until finally Allah sent down the Quran as the final revelation, since no more prophets will come after him.
So let us search deeper. Has any prophets come to say that the previous scriptures or the prophet's scripture is not valid and cannot be followed?
Well, I don't know, but this seems to make sense. Why do new prophets need to come if the previous scriptures still existed?
Well, for me, it only can make sense if at least one of those prophets said that the previous scriptures has been changed or no longer exist. Can we find that? Because in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 35, Jesus clearly stated, Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Same in Hebrew, chapter 6, verse 18, God cannot break his words, and because his words cannot change, the promise is likewise unchangeable. This is the same King Daud or David say in the Zabur Psalm, chapter 119, verse 89, Your word, Lord, is eternal, its stand firm in heavens. So almost every prophet used the Ten Commandments. If those were changed, as you said, why did they use it? Let me ask you, do you still believe in the Ten Commandments?
Well, I do follow the Ten Commandments, like the Torah, if that is what you're asking. But this is something that is worth to be considered.
Okay, let me share one story with you and you please give me your honest answer. A rich farmer sat in the pitch darkness of his house. A poor, dubious figure passed the house and noticed the incredible darkness within. Thinking that no one was at home, he decided to enter and steal whatever he could. Very carefully, he entered the house and switched on the light. Immediately, he spotted the owner sitting in the corner, watching him, but not uttering a word. The thief was taken by surprise, but Because the owner made no sound nor hindered the thief from taking anything, the thief started to collect the precious articles in the room. The next evening, the thief passed the house again to find there was still no light. As he carefully entered through the window now, he saw the owner still sitting and apparently unmoved by his invasion. The thief decided to go into the next room and empty it. So it was on the third day. Finally, on the fourth evening, as the thief entered the house, the owner suddenly jumped up, shouted loudly, and attacked the thief. The police came immediately and threw the criminal into the prison. What are your honest thoughts about the house owner?
Well, it seems that it is obvious that he is a lazy man. He does not seem to care about his possessions. Maybe they were not his things in the first place, and maybe he was just not powerful enough to protect himself and his things from the thief.
Yes, that's what I would also say. But sadly, this is what many Muslims are saying about Allah when claiming that Rabbi and the pastors and the Christian and the Jews changed his words for over 2000 years. And he just sat quietly like the house owner and only woke up when the final revelation, the Quran, came.
Well, that seems to make some sense.
Okay, let me check out one more things. The verse you quoted in chapter 15, verse 9, it says, Inna nahnu nazalna zikra wa inna lahu lahafizun. There is no words, as I said before, that Quran or Furqan mentioned, but the word has been used zikr. Now, if we go to the other surah, chapter 16, verse 43, is also say, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن قَبْلِكَ إِلَّا رِجَالٍ نُوحِيَ إِلَيْهِمْ فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلُ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Here is also the previous scripture where God calling like a Torah in the Psalm. He's only saying the zikr. So when you're saying the Surah 15, verse 9, Allah promised that He will protect His words or the zikr. He's not only saying about the Quran, but He's saying for His all the scriptures.
Wow, I did not know that. I cannot deny them, I would say, because all the previous scriptures are also called zikr as well. And that means that Surah Al Hijr, verse 9, does not mean that it's the Quran only, but also all the books of Allah, all the other books of His.
Yes, this is very clear from the verses that I quoted. This is what I also used to believe as a Muslim, and no one told me about this teaching. I basically used to believe unknowingly that Allah is like a house owner who is not all powerful, is lazy, and does not care about his zikr, kalam, or the words. But now I know that his no words or zikr can be changed, and he will protect his words as he promised. Also, when I read the Bible, I found out that no prophet ever came to reject the previous prophets' scriptures or ever call them false or tahrif. I read that Jesus and the other prophets basically always kept referring to the Old Testament. That means they believed that all those scriptures are true and unchanged. And this is what Quran also established. Surprisingly, I wonder when the Jews and the Christian leaders changed the words of Allah, why did not anyone ever complain about the changes? I'm sure there are some honest and God fearing Jews or Christians exist then. Lastly, history proved that Jews used to make copies of the original scriptures, such as Prophet Ezra and the Prophet Nehemiah in the Old Testament, and they were in the hands of many, many people and were widely used it in the temple and other places. It is possible that one copy can be changed, but to change each and every copy, that would be impossible.
Okay, I see now. So, Abdul, thank you so much for clarifying this to me. I will go and check with my leaders and also research furthermore on all that you have shared with me.
You are welcome, my brother Hashim, and I will pray that you will find the truth.